Welcome to Yoga with Nicole, our first session of an ongoing series. So today we're going to focus on Hatha yoga, which is my main teaching style, and that involves the yoga postures, the physical postures that we'll be doing, and we'll be focusing on breath work. So as we're moving, we're going to focus on inhaling and exhaling intentionally with each posture and each transition between. So I would recommend that you have 2 blocks for props, and I will demonstrate throughout class today different ways to use the blocks if you need them. They're really good to elevate the floor if you can't quite reach all the way down there, and they're good to sit on if that feels better for your hips and your knees. So take a moment to get your props, get water if you need it, and we will begin. Welcome back to Yoga with Nicole. Starting with 1 block, I'm going to sit right on top, cross-legged. Another option is to be on shins and knees, which I will also demonstrate. If you need to sit on 2 blocks, that is also an option. So we'll stack them one on top of the other, and we'll rest the hands on the legs. Close the eyes as you start to settle in. If you feel better with the eyes opened, focus your gaze at one point in front of your body. Take a few moments here to settle into your space, feeling your blocks underneath your seat, noticing your pelvis, your hips, your sacrum. Settle into your seat, start to tune into the movement of your breath. No need to alter it just yet. Just pay attention. How does the beating of your heart feel? How does it feel to breathe in and out through the nostrils? Stay here for 3 more cycles of breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. Go a little bit deeper with the breath so you can feel and also hear an audible whisper in the back of the throat. In yoga, we call this Ujjayi Breathing. So if I refer to that, just know that it's breathing in and out through the nostrils with that gentle whisper, the massage in the back of the throat. We'll start to add the arms. Scoop your hands out and up. Bring your palms together and down through the center of your body. Inhale as you scoop up. Exhale, palms together, lower your hands down through the center of your body. Extend your arms way out to the sides. Lift up, not just through your shoulders. Let's pause with our arms up here. Soften the shoulders away from the ears, noticing that we're not lifting with the shoulders. We're releasing the shoulders down toward the hips. The lift is coming more from the pelvis and the waist. So see if you can get that sensation of pressing down through the base of your pelvis and then lifting up from the pelvis through the waist, through the ribs, softening the shoulders. Stay here for 3 more rounds of breath. Ujjayi breath. With each inhale, get a little bit taller through the waist. Exhale, ground down through the base of your pelvis. Inhale one more time, stretch the arms up. And exhale, lower the arms straight out to the sides. Turn your palms down to the ground. Close the space in between your fingers. Soften the shoulders down toward the ears. Lift the spine up toward the sky. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Lift the spine up toward the sky. Close the space between the fingers. Focus on the movement of breath. Notice if there are any areas of tension in the body. And as you start to feel any urges to adjust the body or change shape, stay present with those urges. Try not to give in to those temptations. Come back to the breath as an anchor. Focusing on the movement of breath as we come into stillness. Stay for one more breath in. Exhale, lower the arms down to the ground. Keep going with the chin toward the chest. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, chin to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Pause there. Stretch your left arm down towards the ground. If you're a little bit lower, you can reach your fingers to touch the ground. Since I'm elevated, I will keep a space in between my fingers and the ground, and then lift up my right arm. Bring the hand to the side of the face and gently add pressure to the head. Very subtle, very gentle. Lift your right ear up to your shoulder. Really squeeze your head with your shoulder. And then release the shoulder so there's space in between the arm and the ear. Check in with the breath here. Notice if there are any tense spaces in the body. Inhale to lift the hands, lift the head. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Stretch the right arm away and down toward the ground. Lift the left arm up. Place the hand on the side of the head. Apply gentle pressure. Squeeze the head with your shoulder and upper arm. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, create space between the shoulder and the ear. Gentle, subtle pressure with the hand on the head, lengthening the side of the neck. Use your breath to add any extra length. We're always using the breath to add expansion in the body, to massage our muscles, our bones, our nerves, and our cells. Inhale, release the hand, lift the head. Exhale, chin to chest. Keep rolling forward. Stay on your blocks or take them away if you need to. I'm going to eliminate my blocks for this here. And we're simply moving into a seated forward fold. You can do this if you're on your shins or if you're sitting cross-legged. So don't change the posture of your seat. I'm going to go back to where I was. But if you are cross-legged, you can stay there and we're just bowing forward toward the ground. You can use your block here if you want to rest your forehead on a prop. If it's comfortable without the block, you can stretch all the way down and rest your forehead directly on the ground. Stay exactly where you are. Listen to the sensations in your body. I'm going to sit up right here, but stay low to the ground in your forward fold. Notice the length from the tailbone all the way through the spine to the crown of the head. It's a long stretching of the back side of the body. Notice any sensation that comes up in your body as we change shape and as we transition from one shape to the next. Stay in your seated fold for 3 more cycles of breath. In and out through the nose. Notice here if your breath can go a little bit deeper than your throat. So maybe the breath can expand your upper back and your chest as you're folding forward. Maybe it can go a little deeper to expand the ribs from the inside center of your body out to the sides and even beyond. One more cycle of breath. All the way in, all the way out. Start to make your way all the way back up. Take your 2 blocks with you. We'll turn to the side if you're not there already. Turn your blocks so they're on their lowest edge. If it's more comfortable, you'll always have the option to come to the medium edge, or you can come all the way up to the highest possible edge of your block. Of course, there's always the option to come all the way down to the ground. Wherever you choose to be, we'll come right into tabletop so that our hips are above our knees and our shoulders are above our wrists. If your hands are on the blocks, I would suggest having your palm on the block and your fingers dangle over the edges. From here, we're going to add cat-cow. So that's an arching of the back, an opening of the throat, an inhale, preparing to exhale as we round the back, bring the chin to the chest, and reach the tailbone toward the back of the knees. Synchronize this movement with your breath, inhaling as you open the front of the torso. Look up as high as you can and exhale. Scoop the belly in, bring the chin to the chest, round the back. Inhale to arch, 1 more round. Exhale, round the back, tailbone reaching toward the legs. Come back to a neutral tabletop. Stay on your blocks if you need to. I'm going to eliminate mine. Realign your body as needed. So the shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees. Stretch your right leg back. Keep your toes connected to the ground. Reach the crown of the head forward. So we're lengthening from the heel behind us all the way through the leg, the spine, and the crown of the head. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, look over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, look over your left shoulder. We're going to add the right leg this time. Inhale, lift the leg, step over to the left, so we're crossing behind, and start to look over your left shoulder, looking for the toes. Stay here for a few cycles of breath. As we change shape in the body, notice any sensations that come up at any point in time. Make adjustments as needed. Maybe you come up onto the fists if you are not on your blocks. That is another option. Or if you don't have blocks, that might be a little bit more supportive for your wrists. Stay here for 1 more breath in. And exhale, come back to your tabletop. Bring your big toes together. Spread your knees apart, creating space for the ribs and the belly to come into child's pose. Hips reach back toward the heels, arms stretch forward. An option here is to come up into puppy dog, so your hips are in the air, and you're simply resting on the elbows and forearms. Shoulders are directly above the elbows. We can let the head dangle down toward the ground. An option with the blocks is to stack them again between the shins so that we're sitting and then stretching forward into our child's pose. If you only need 1 block to sit on, or if you're coming into puppy dog with your hips in the air, bring your forehead either to the ground or onto the block if needed. And then to massage the forehead, we'll gently roll the head side to side. Slow and steady, massaging the entire brow line. Slide your blocks aside, step back up into your tabletop, tuck your toes, lift your knees just an inch or two off of the ground. We're not changing shape in the body, we're keeping our shape of the tabletop with the hips over the knees, shoulders over the wrists, belly button pressing up toward the spine, shoulder blades are rolling in toward the spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, press back with the arms, lift the hips, straighten the legs into downward facing dog. In our downward dog, we're creating a triangular shape with the body. Spreading the fingers apart so there's space in between each one. We're pressing the whole hand down and forward so then our armpits and our chest can reach back toward the toes. No need to press the heels all the way down to the ground. If your heels are up in the air, that's okay. Bend the knees if you need to, if there's some tension in the backs of the legs. Stay here for 2 more rounds of breath and notice how this inverted shape changes the movement of the breath. Inhale, shift forward so the shoulders realign above the wrists. Lower the knees down to hover a couple of inches above your mat. Coming back into our tabletop shape. Stretch the crown of the head forward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower the knees, untuck the toes. Bring the big toes together, stretch back into child's pose. We'll stay here for a few rounds of breath, so set up your blocks as needed. Stretching the arms forward, grip the mat with your hands. Inhale, lift up into tabletop. Realign the knees so they're under the hips. Stretch the left leg back, connect your toes to the ground. Find length from that back heel all the way through the leg, through the pelvis, the spine, stretching the crown of the head forward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, look over the right shoulder. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, look over the left shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Pick up your left leg, cross it to the opposite side behind you. Inhale to re-lengthen the spine. Exhale, turn your head to look over your right shoulder, looking for your toes. Stay here for a few rounds of breath. Again, we're taking an assessment of the movement of our breath as we change shape in the body. Stay present with sensations as they arise. Keep pressing back through that left heel. Stay active in the shoulders and the upper back, so we have a little less pressure and weight in the wrists. Inhale, look forward. Bring your knee back to tabletop. Wag your tail side to side. Stretch out the spine, the hips, the shoulders. Loosen up the head and the neck. Shake the head around. Bring your big toes together, separate your knees, stretch back into child's pose. This time, once you rest your forehead on the ground or on a block, sweep your arms behind you, palms facing up, resting the hands right above the sacrum. Allow the shoulders to roll down toward the earth. Soften the jaw. Bring the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Sweep your arms forward, grip your mat with your palms, glide up into tabletop. Right away, tuck the toes, lift the knees an inch or two away from your mat. 3 rounds of breath here, in and out through the nose. Take another breath in. Exhale, press back with the arms, lift up with the hips, downward facing dog. Another 3 rounds of breath here. Walk your dog out if you need to as you're breathing, bending one knee at a time. Try bending both knees together. Wherever you go, keep your tailbone lifting as high as possible toward the sky. Come back to stillness. Tailbone lifting up, heels stretching down. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, slow motion, tiptoe your feet all the way up to your hands. Bend your knees as you need to, eventually stepping the heels underneath the hips and folding down toward the ground. Take any effort and action out of the arms and shoulders and allow them to dangle down toward the ground. Check in with your breath here as we invert, lowering the head below the heart. Shake the head yes, and shake the head no. Bend the knees, press the heels down, slowly roll up. Keep the head and the arms heavy as you're unfurling the body. Pausing as we arrive in mountain pose. Close the eyes if that feels okay, or focus your gaze at one point in front of the body. Lift the shoulders forward, then up toward the ears, back and down. Broaden the collarbones, slightly open the throat. Lift the chin slightly up toward the sky. Check in with your breath here now that we're standing in an upright posture. Check in with the soles of your feet, the foundation of your posture. Spread your feet wide, noticing 4 corners beneath the foot. So we have a broad, wide, supportive foundation. Lift all 10 toes so that you feel your heels and the balls of the feet pressing against the ground. Lower the toes down to the ground. Step to the front of your mat. Inhale to reach both arms up, lengthen from the ground up. Exhale, fold forward. Dangling down toward the ground, lengthen the back of the neck. This is where we can also use our blocks again on the lowest edge, the medium edge, or the highest edge. So this is good if you can't quite reach the ground, if there's a lot of tension in the back side of the body. Wherever you are, we're going to lift up halfway with the torso. So our torso is coming parallel to the ground. Take a deep breath in once you get there. Exhale, fold down toward the ground. Lengthen the crown of your head to reach down toward the toes. Let's try that a couple more times. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale to fold. Keep your heels pressing down to the ground and your tailbone lifting up high, whether your knees are bent or straightened. Inhale, lift up halfway. Stretch the crown of the head forward, reaching away from the tailbone. Exhale to fold. One more time. Inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. Bend your knees enough so that your hands can come all the way down to the ground. We'll slow motion tiptoe our feet all the way back into downward facing dog, creating a triangle with your body. If you have a mirror at home, it can be helpful to look in the mirror and check your alignment. In our downward dog, let's inhale to look forward toward the fingers to open the throat. And exhale, tuck the chin to your chest. 2 more rounds like that. Inhale, look forward to the fingers. Exhale, chin to chest. One more time. Inhale, look forward, open the throat. Stay strong in the shoulders. Exhale, chin to chest. Glide forward, bringing the shoulders above the wrists. Lower the knees, coming into our tabletop shape. Knees hovering above the mat. 3 rounds of breath here, in and out through the nose. Lower the knees all the way down. Untuck the toes. Inhale, open the throat, the chest, the belly, lift the tailbone. Exhale, round the back. Chin to chest, tailbone down. Flowing through cat-cow here at your own pace. Synchronizing your movement with your breath. Wringing out any tension in the spine and in the organs as we arch the back and round. 2 more times. Stay with your breath. Maybe you can lengthen your breath a little bit further each time. So sipping in a little bit more air as you inhale and pressing out a little bit more air as you exhale. Come back to a neutral tabletop. Tuck the toes. Lift your legs, lift your hips into downward dog. From downward dog, step your feet all the way together. Start to lift your left leg behind you. Follow your toes with your eyes. Lift up your leg as high as you can, keeping your eyes connected to your toes. Stay strong in the shoulders and upper back. Keep the hands pressing down and forward. Tailbone is still lifting up toward the sky. Bottom heel is stretching down toward the ground. You can bend that bottom knee if you need to, but we're still lifting the pelvis up toward the sky. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower the foot to the ground. Switching legs, lift your right leg up. Keep your eyes connected to your toes. Bottom heel stretching down to the ground. Pelvis lifting up. Lengthening through the waist. Check in with your breath. Is your breath getting shallow and choppy? If it is, that's perfectly fine. We're just taking inventory. Lower the foot down to the ground. Shift your shoulders forward over the wrists. Lower the knees all the way. Come into child's pose. An option for child's pose is to have the knees wide, or if your hip flexors feel okay, you can bring the knees and the thighs all the way together. We'll stretch our arms forward. Resting your forehead on the ground, on your arms, or on a block. Pausing here, focusing on the movement of breath. Stay exactly where you are. Lengthen the inhale so that your belly expands and your low back. So we're expanding that whole core section of the body with each inhale. And as you exhale, feel the light, gentle contraction within that space. Stay here for a few more rounds, breathing in to expand the belly in the front and the back of the torso. Exhale, just feel that gentle contraction. Slow and steady. Stretch the arms forward, grip the mat with your hands, glide up into tabletop. Tuck the toes, take a deep breath in to pause. Exhale, lift up into downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, slow motion, tiptoe your feet underneath your hips, replacing the hands. Go ahead and reach for your blocks here. We'll start to add on. Feel your feet on the ground. Press down through your heels and the balls of your feet. Shift your weight into the left leg. Pick up the right leg, step it as far back as you can, keeping the front knee above the front ankle. This is where the blocks come in handy. If you need the ground to be elevated, up to you. We'll stay right here in high crescent lunge. You can have a narrow stance with your back foot further forward, so your feet are closer together. That is an option. As long as we're keeping the front knee above the front ankle. If you can step back further and stretch out the quadricep muscle and the psoas, go ahead and do that. We'll stay right here in this high crescent lunge, spreading our feet wide. Notice my back heel is lifted up away from the mat. So I'm balancing on my toes and the ball of my back foot. And again, I have that long line from my back heel all the way through my leg, through my pelvis, the waist, the ribs. The crown of the head is reaching forward. Activate your back thigh. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Rely on a little more strength in the legs and a little less strength in the arms. So we're not dumping down into the arms, trying to hold ourselves up. We're activating strength in the legs, and then that strength moves through the core of our body, all the way around the low back. From here, we'll lift our hands away from the floor or the blocks. Sweep them up right next to the head. Keep the shape in the lower half of the body. Front knee is staying above the front ankle. Clasp your hands and extend your pointers overhead so the upper arms squeeze in toward the head. If this doesn't work for your shoulders, you can come into cactus arms so the elbows are straight out to the sides from the shoulder. Palms are open forward. Check in with the breath. Maybe your heart is beating a little faster here. We can alter the beating of the heart with the movement of our breath by slowing down our inhales, slowing down our exhales. Take one more breath in, lean a little bit further back. Exhale, come forward with the hands. Step forward with your back foot, arriving in forward fold. Lengthen the back of the neck. Let the arms dangle down toward the ground. Bend your knees if you need to. Either way, we're pressing the heels down, lifting the tailbone up toward the sky. Bend both knees together, let the arms dangle, press your heels down as you roll all the way up. Again, coming into our mountain pose. Close the eyes if that feels okay, or focus your gaze in front of your body. Broaden across the collarbones. Open the throat, slightly lifting the chest or the chin toward the sky. Soften the elbows, the wrists, and the fingers. With your eyes closed or your gaze focused, gently shift your body weight front to back. So you feel your weight coming into the heels and then forwards into the toes, but keep your feet flat the whole time. Find your center, slow down your movements, come back to stillness. Take a cleansing breath in and out. And from the center, we'll shift our body weight left to right, right to left. Keep your feet flat the whole time. If it helps to have a gap between the feet and the legs, you can separate the feet so they're as wide as the hips and keep the weight and the energy shifting side to side. So you feel the inner edges of the feet and the outer edges of the feet. Come back to your center, re-stabilize. And from the front of your mat, inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, lower the hands, bring your chin to your chest, start to round your upper back. So we're reversing our way down to the ground here. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Utilize your blocks if you need to here. Shift your weight into your right leg, pick up your left leg, stretch it back as far as you can for your body, keeping the front knee above the front ankle. From there, we lift the shoulders and the chest. So we have a nice long line from the back heel through the back leg, activating the thigh, keeping that line of energy moving through the pelvis, the waist, the ribs, shoulders, stretching the crown of the head forward. Check in with your foundation. Spread your front foot nice and wide. It's a very subtle spreading. So we sense all four corners of the foot. 2 corners of the back foot, since we're balancing on our toes and the ball of the foot. Keeping the back thigh active, the front knee over the front ankle. Swing the arms forward and up, high crescent lunge. Open the elbows into cactus arms if your shoulders feel better that way, or stretch the arms up, clasp the hands, and extend the pointers. Either way, we're softening the shoulders away from the ears, down toward the hips. Check in with your breath here. Inhale to lean back slightly further from where you are. Exhale, bring the hands forward. Step forward into your fold. Bend your knees enough so you can reach your hands down to the ground. Take bigger steps this time to come all the way back into downward facing dog. Right away, activating the hands, pressing them down, stretching the armpits and the collarbones back toward the toes. Check in with your breath here. Glide forward, shoulders above the wrists. Lower the knees all the way down. This time we'll keep descending to the ground. Bend your elbows, pointing them back behind you and squeezing the ribs. We'll lower all the way, slithering into low cobra. Keep the hands exactly where they are, right next to the ribs. Toenails stay connected to your mat. Reach your heart forwards and upwards. Activate the muscles of the upper back. If you want to test yourself here, lift your hands away from the mat and stay active in your upper back to lift yourself up, peeling the chest away from the mat. Lower the hands back down. Take one more breath in. Exhale, lower the chest, lower the chin. Press up through tabletop, back into child's pose. Stay in your child's pose. Pause in stillness. Notice the movement of your breath. Three more rounds of breath. Can you expand your throat, your chest, and your belly? Each time you inhale, let out all unnecessary tension. Each time you exhale. Stretch the arms forward. Grip the mat with your hands. Glide into tabletop. Tuck your toes. Lift up into downward dog. Step your feet together right away. Lift up your left leg. Follow your toes with your gaze. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step down. Right leg lifts behind. Follow the toes with your gaze. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step down. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, big steps forward all the way up to the hands. Arriving in forward fold. Hips over the heels. Shake the head no. Shake the head yes. Use your blocks if you need to. We're doing exactly what we did before. Shift your weight into your right leg. Pick up your left leg. Swing it back. Step the ball of the foot down. Swing the arms up right away. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, come forward, hands down. Step forward with your foot. Shift your weight to the left leg. Swing your right leg behind. Step the ball of the foot down. Keep the heel lifted. Arms lift up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step down with the hands. Step forward with your back foot. Inhale, lift up into flat back. Exhale to fold. If you're not using your blocks to lift up halfway, you can slide your hands up your shins. Take a breath in and exhale to fold. Press your hands against your mat. Big steps all the way back into downward dog. Inhale, glide forward, this time coming into high plank. Shoulders above the wrists. Pausing here, activating the thighs right away. We're balancing on the balls of the feet and the toes again. Belly button is lifting up toward the spine. Shoulder blades are wrapping around and in toward the center of your body. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower the knees. Bend the elbows, lower your chest. Slither into your low cobra. Hands stay on your mat next to your ribs. Tops of the feet stay connected to the mat. Take a big breath in. Exhale, lower the chest. Press your way up through tabletop and pause here. Cleansing the palate with some cat-cows. If you want to add any extra movements in your tabletop, maybe you arch your spine side to side. Add some movement in the head if that feels good to stretch the neck and the shoulders. If you need to here, take some weight out of your wrists. As an option, you can lower down onto the forearms so the elbows come directly underneath the shoulders, and we can continue cleansing the palate, shaking out any tension that has built up in the body. Come back up into tabletop, tuck the toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, take big steps all the way up. Shift your weight into your right leg, pick up your left leg, step it behind. Inhale, reach the arms up and stay. 5 cycles of breath here. Press that front knee forward so that it's no further than the toes, but we're keeping it above the heel. Sometimes You might notice that your knee is coming a little too far back. Stay low in your lunge, clasping the hands overhead. As an option, you can keep space between the hands, or you can come back into cactus arms. Inhale, lean back, open the chest. Exhale, hands come forward. This time, with or without your blocks, we're picking up our front foot, sliding it back into downward dog. You can do downward dog on the blocks. Just be mindful of your surface on the ground. I tend to have good stability and stickiness as I am here, but make sure that you're assessing your props and your mat so that your blocks are not sliding out from underneath you. And you can always eliminate them as needed. Inhale, look forward to the hands. Exhale, big steps all the way up into your forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, feet together. Shift your weight to your left leg. Step your right leg way back. High crescent lunge. Inhale, swing the arms forward and up. Find your placement for the arms and the hands. 5 cycles of breath, in and out through the nose. Stay active in the back leg, keeping the heel lifted, the thigh is active, supporting you. Inhale, lean back, open the chest. Exhale, hands come forward. Pick your front foot up, lift your hips, slide back into downward facing dog. Come forward, shoulders above the wrists, lower the knees, hover them for 2 rounds of breath. Lower the knees all the way down. Take a big breath in before descending down to the ground with your exhale. Bend the elbows, squeeze the ribs. Stay in your low cobra or lift into upward facing dog if that feels okay for the low back. Wherever you choose to be, you can tuck the pelvis so that the hip bones in the front of your body are lifting up toward the shoulders. Stay here for one more breath in. Exhale, lower the belly, chest to the ground. Press up through tabletop and back into child's pose. In your child's pose, with your arms stretched forward, start to bend your elbows, bring the palms together so that the hands are coming behind the head. Stay where you are. Keep the shape of your child's pose. Lengthen your breath, each inhale and each exhale. Even if your heart is beating fast, we can slow the beating of the heart down by altering the movement of our breath. Stretch the arms forward, grip your mat, glide into tabletop, tuck your toes, last downward facing dog. As you arrive in your downward dog, separate your hands a bit wider than the shoulders. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, tiptoe, step, or hop your feet all the way through the hands. Come all the way down into a seated posture. From there, we can bend the knees, come all the way down onto the back. Bring your knees into your chest and gently massage your back on the floor. If it feels okay, flap your feet, loosen the ankles, Let the lower legs flap up and down. Loose toes. Clasp your hands over your right shin. Extend your left leg. Flex your foot so the leg is active. Take a deep breath in. Roll into a spinal twist. So the bent right knee will come across the body over to the left side. Right arm reaches away in the opposite direction, and we look over the right shoulder with our eyes. If your blocks are close enough, or not, you'll have to get up and get them. Just one will do, and we can use that one block and place it underneath the knee, underneath the inner thigh. If it feels like too much of a stretch, getting that bent leg down to the ground. And the whole sacrum, the back of the pelvis, will peel off of the mat. So the hips and the shoulders are spiraling in opposite directions. Stay active with your bottom leg, flex the foot. Stay for 3 more rounds of breath. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, roll onto the back, bring both knees into the chest. And just like we did in our wide-legged child's pose, we'll separate the knees so there's lots of space between the thighs. Roll the ankles, stretch the toes. Loosen the grip of the hands so that the shoulders and the head can rest on the ground. If you find that you're straining too much with the shoulders and the neck to hold on, loosen the grip. Maybe hold on to the backs of the legs instead. And if none of that is working, you can always come back to the feet flat on the ground. Wrap your hands around the left shin this time. Extend the right leg out all the way down onto the ground. Flexing both feet. Take a deep breath in. Take your block with you if you need to. Exhale, twist over to the right. Stretch the left arm in the opposite direction. Turn your eyes over the left shoulder. Stay here for 3 rounds of breath. Slow, steady breaths. Inhale, stay where you are. Exhale, roll onto the back. Bring both knees into the chest one more time. Lots of space in between the thighs. Stretch the ankles, wiggle the toes. Step your feet down onto the ground. Extend one leg at a time. And as you do so, press that one leg against the ground so you can lift your hips, wiggle out the spine, then stretch out the opposite leg, coming into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Press the back of your head against the ground to lift your chest and your upper back. Wiggle the shoulder blades together underneath you, and then surrender down. Tuck your chin slightly toward the chest, just to lengthen the back of the neck. Turn your palms upwards if there are questions or mysteries in your life and you're looking to receive clarity. Or if you're in need of grounding and stability, you can turn your palms down toward the earth. Close the eyes, soften the forehead, soften the cheeks and the jaw. Giving ourselves this opportunity to receive the benefits of our physical practice. We can release the breath now to its own natural rhythm, surrendering to the space beneath and within the body. Stay here for as long as you'd like in Shavasana. Otherwise, we'll transition together, wiggling the fingers and the toes, reaching the arms up by the ears, stretching the toes away from the fingers. Bring the knees back in toward the chest. Roll over onto either side of your body. And as you get there, stay there for a few moments so you can really feel your weight and your energy shifting over to the side. If you have a block nearby, you can use that as a pillow underneath your head if that feels better. Using the top hand to press down, lifting our way up. Keep the head heavy. The head is the last thing to rise up. Coming back to where we began, we can sit cross-legged or up on the shins and knees. Use your blocks if you need to. Wherever you go, close the eyes. Rest the hands on your legs. Pause here for a few more moments. Feeling the sound of your breath. Allowing all of the cells and the subtle energy of the body to reflect upon the work that we've done within the past hour. Feel your roots pressing you down and lifting you up, lengthening the torso, lengthening the spine, opening the belly and the chest. On your next inhale, scoop the arms out to the sides and all the way up. Scoop in all of your pieces, all of your particles. Bring the palms together. Lower your hands down in front of your heart. Bowing forward together to seal in our practice. Wishing each other namaste. The light in me honors and sees the light in you. Thank you for joining me today.